is up, you beautiful people out
Yo.
there? How we doing today? I am Josh Mabry, alongside my tag team partner in this journey, Justin Toner. How we doing today, sir?
I'm doing really good, sir. Lots of interesting stuff happened this past week in both companies, and lots of interesting stuff to talk about. Lots of speculation.
Yeah, not as much stuff outside the ring as there was actually on the shows, compared to what it has been. We normally always have like some report that comes out right before we go live that we sit there and talk about a lot, but there really wasn't anything major. But major is part of my first story, which is Tony Khan announcing new major signing, which in his quote is one of the world's best wrestlers. A pro is known and respected. Virtually every AEW fan will sign their contract at Full Gear, the pay-per-view, so at least get some buys there. Thoughts?
Oh man, there's all kinds of wild speculation now. So a good section of the internet wrestling community is definitely likes to poke fun at TK for whenever he does a major announcement, because sometimes they kind of don't live up to the hype. But this one potentially could, depending on who he is signed. Now, there's a lot of speculation, no confirmation yet about who it is. The Dirt Sheet boys are doing their best to try to get the scoop, but there's nothing, no official word yet. Sun Shep said that he's hearing things, but he's got nothing confirmed. So that tells you that Tony's trying to keep this as close to the vest as possible so it don't leak. So there's the biggest three potential guesses that people have put out there are former WWE wrestler and multi-time champion Dolph Ziggler, which makes sense. I mean, like, he's won multiple titles. It's like he's gotten a lot of accolades. He's well respected by everybody in the business. But I don't know if he would be. But I would immediately rule that out because the way Tony phrased it, that someone known already to the fan base and that they respect. But he also mentioned that didn't say like loved. He just said was a great, one of the best wrestlers in the world that's respected. Now some people are thinking maybe it's Mercedes Moné. That could make sense, but she's still out injured. We don't know when she's going to be able to get back in the ring yet. She's still recovering from the injury she sustained earlier this year in that women's title match with Willow Nightingale for New Japan. So the third biggest and probably the odds-on favorite is Will Ospreay, which has been talked about for a while because it's known that his contract with New Japan is coming up, and that he is not beholden to stay in New Japan. He is interested in working with some of the big companies in the States. And he said that he's willing to entertain offers not just from AEW, but also Impact and WWE. And that he's willing to move to the States as well, which he never said that he wasn't really interested in doing before, but he's changed his mind because he's looking to make money. Right. And he knows that he can make more money, especially from AEW, than he does in New Japan. Because Endeavor, TKO, and Tony Khan have deep pockets. So it makes a lot of sense. Especially Ospreay fits what his clues were about one of the best wrestlers in the world, who was well known and respected, not necessarily loved by the AEW fan base. So that's what I'm leaning toward right now, because I said, like, WWE may have a chance, but the odds are he's going to sign with AEW because he's worked so much with AEW and Tony Khan for quite a while. He's done a lot of matches for them, especially on big pay-per-views. It's like he and Kenny Omega just tore it down this year with their pay-per-view matches for AEW.
It's definitely my match of the year.
Oh yeah, that one was just absolutely insane. I still can't believe that he didn't break Kenny's neck.
Yeah. Basically, when he just stood him like straight up on his head.
There's a reason why that people don't do that, Tiger Driver.
No. It takes a special group of two men who respect each other and trust each other that they're gonna.
If you botch that move, you're gonna break somebody's neck.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Gift, thanks for joining. Obviously, he's a fan of.
Absolutely. I'm waiting for give me another Omega Osprey match anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, but if Osprey go, but also too, it's like, man, see Osprey and Seth Rollins go at each other. Like that's the one thing. If he went to WWE, that I'd be really excited about is that match alone.
And there was another thing. After Crown Jewel, and they sent out a tweet saying no, Seth had defeated Drew to retain. Osprey sent out a tweet, quote tweeting it with kind of eyes, and then Seth actually responded to and said, "Water's warm over here," basically saying, "Hey, come on over, Will. It's like we'll welcome you with open arms." So WWE, it's like even Seth Rollins is telling Osprey to, "Hey, we're more than happy to have you come on over."
Right.
So I think the odds are it's going to be Osprey. It's not. I rule out Mercedes immediately because she's injured and she hasn't.
I think she's still under contract. I thought
she's also still under contract with New Japan as well. On top of that,
yeah.
So it's like the people saying that I thought was like that doesn't make any sense. It's down to either it's either Osprey or the other possibility that I think would be Ziggler, but the way he's worded it, it sounds more like it fits Osprey. So
yeah, I mean, if you ask me which one I want Osprey, obviously.
Yeah, me too. Nothing against Dolph, but
it'd be kind of a letdown if he.
Osprey's still in the prime of his career. You know, it's like compared to Dolph. I mean, Dolph can still go, but he's like he's in his 40s. He's near the end. He's late in his career. He can still go, but Osprey's putting on banger matches all the time, man. So, well, Tony would want to bring him over to AEW permanently.
Right. One we do know that is confirmed, which is Kota Ibushi.
Yep.
He is officially all elite, which to shock of no one, but he was still in negotiation. He technically wasn't all elite until yesterday for that, which if you haven't watched Kota Ibushi, the man does not care about his life at all. He is basically the Japanese version of Darby Allin. He will take all the spots, all the injuries, basically with Kota. But
he'd be crazy.
He'd be crazy, but he'd be putting on. He's entertaining, obviously, but geez, it's like when that Kota Darby Allin match happens, oh god, because they're just one upping each other on just trying to kill each other.
You put those two in a street fight match. Get the ambulance ready. Because someone may end up in the hospital.
How old is Kota?
Let me look.
Isn't he like 34?
He's up there.
Yeah, because him and Kenny are about the same age, and Kenny's in.
He's 41. So
okay.
So it's like he's kind of like he's kind of like coming out of his like prime years as a wrestler, but he can still go. He can still put on great matches.
Right.
This is not too surprising. This makes sense. I mean, he's wrestled on AEW multiple times, including last night on Dynamite with his best bud Kenny Omega, and that's probably another factor is that his close his friendship with Kenny, both inside and outside the ring, but probably also played a factor as well. So, it's like and Tony likes the New Japan guys. So, I was like, oh, okay, he made. Kind of felt that it eventually might happen, but so it was like, oh, he just made it official.
Yeah, I was like, because it was kind of like you saw like Kota Ibushi's all elite. I was like, oh, that's right, he hasn't fully signed yet, but I guess he is now on that because I know his contract was coming up real quick.
Yeah, it was
on that. So cool. I mean, just another solid talent. Obviously, being Japanese, his mic work is, we'll see about that, but I don't think that's not the point on that. At the end of the day. Speaking about overseas, WWE keeps going there. We obviously talked about this before. About a few shows ago, we did mention that they were looking to do might have been straight up Backlash in France, but now it is confirmed. They are doing it in. I apologize if I mispronounce this name. Leon de Cines. I think, or
I think
Descendez.
that's what I'll see.
I don't. My apologies to all the geography people and French people and all that if I mispronounced it, but it is in France, in 2024 of May the 4th. It's on Star Wars Day, next year. So we've got that going. So now we've got three for 2024. I believe we've got three pay-per-views or whatever you want to call it, not on U.S. soil. Because Germany, France, and then what's the other one?
Let's see. Well, let's see. We got
Crown Jewel, I guess.
Elimination Chamber is going to be in Australia in Perth.
Oh, okay, that's it. That was the third.
They got the Bash in Berlin pay-per-view, which is going to be in Berlin, Germany, and now they've got Backlash going to France.
Yeah.
So this is really smart because it's like they've been hinting that they want to do more pay-per-views overseas because of how well they've been received and performed and the money they're making.
Mm-hmm.
Especially this year. I mean, the Backlash in Puerto Rico was huge for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they made a lot of money and that crowd was red hot, making for a really great pay-per-view. And Money in the Bank in London was also a big hit. I mean, like, it's like the international fans add a whole lot of energy. I mean, like, people rightly criticize, the Saudi Arabia shows, the Crown Jewels and all that, and that's completely justified because of how kind of way the Saudi government operates. It's just not great.
Right.
It's like they've done a lot of shitty shit. But those Saudi fans, it's like they're loud, man. I mean, it's like you just listening to the pops for a lot of the big baby faces like LA Knight and Cody and Sammy. It's like they love wrestling. So so this is very interesting. It's really cool. So they're really putting a foothold into Europe with some of these international shows now.
Yeah.
Which makes more likely that it's like if not because we got WrestleMania in Philly, and that's the only we don't know what WrestleMania 41 in 2025 what that's going to be yet.
I think it's 2026 probably when they actually go there.
Yeah, it's like in the next 2 or 3 years they're probably going to do a WrestleMania in London, because they're going to want to fill up Wembley Stadium and outperform what AEW did this year.
Yeah, and AEW's already going back.
And they could do even better. It's
right.
Like so it's like who knows. But I have a feeling that because it's like the only other time that they've left the United States for WrestleMania was to go to Canada. They went to Toronto twice for WrestleManias, but other than that, they've never left the North American continent for WrestleMania. So they've never been an overseas WrestleMania.
Right.
So London at Wembley Stadium would make sense as like if they're going to do it for the first time, they're going to do it there.
Yeah,
and that would be huge.
The only thing that is going to be an issue when this is the only reason I bring this up, they can still do like Backlash and stuff like that, but just the time difference. And
that's the other thing.
That's the only thing that I worry that they probably sit there and worry about is the time.
That's probably the only thing that's probably not make it like 100% lock is because of the time, depending on the time of year, you have a 5 or 6 hour time difference between the East Coast of the U.S. and London. So, so that's why when they did Money in the Bank in London, it started at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time here on the East Coast where I am. So which is an afternoon, which is a little unusual. You're used to having pay-per-views be in the evening. So. And they just have to do the same thing with Crown Jewel because of the time difference as well. It's like when they're in Saudi, it starts like right in the afternoon slot, which pay-per-view all the way out in the West Coast is like in the morning. So it's like pay-per-view start at 10 a.m. in the morning on the West Coast.
Yeah, that was the one thing about it was like, yay, Wembley, and then it's like it starts at 10 a.m. Oh crap. Okay. Speaking about that, it's just like okay. And then
it's probably they'll figure it out. It's probably gonna happen at some point.
Yeah.
Cool. Happy for all the wrestling fans in France get to because Backlash is the pay-per-view right after WrestleMania. It's definitely gained some more importance. I mean, uh, like I said, the Backlash show in Puerto Rico this year, that was a great pay-per-view overall, between the card delivering and the hot crowd. So
yeah, it helps to have one of the biggest music stars, especially the biggest celebrity.
Yeah,
in Puerto
especially
Rico.
have a hometown hero like Bad Bunny wrestling. David Priest and the LWO and everything. It's like it's huge, man.
Yeah. Kind of speaking about that, kind of flipped to an injury news. Rey Mysterio went. I guess that the putting the steel stairs to his leg was to write him off television for a little bit.
Yep.
Because he just went under a succful meniscus surgery, I believe, to his right leg. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah,
I had a 50-50
right.
shot. If I was wrong,
this is right knee from the photos.
But he's been wrestling on that for about 3 months, is what I saw.
Yeah, apparently, which is why
it's wild, but it's not, because I know a lot of football players that would have their meniscus either slightly torn or something like that, and it's different if it's an ACL compared to a meniscus. Whereas meniscus, you can
they can still go. It's like you just gotta make sure they don't damage it any further. Whereas ACL is like, nah, you're done, son.
right. So, but yeah, wishing him a successful recovery on that.
Yeah,
and
this will be out for too long from what they said. That this is pretty. It's like he'll probably be back in a couple weeks from what they're saying.
We'll kind of get into why we expect.
He'll be back before the Rumble. He'll be ready by Rumble time.
That's what I expect right now, and kind of where they're going with it, and why they're writing him off, and how they can still do it to make.
Yeah, especially with the gap, because there's no WWE's not having they're not having a main roster pay-per-view in December. The only pay-per-view event in December is the NXT one Deadline, and that's it.
Right.
So so after Survivor Series, it's like there's a big gap until they do Royal Rumble in January.
Right. Last a couple of things, and we'll end on that video that we talked about. Becky Lynch, she's the man in the ring, not so much at Jeopardy.
No.
But she set a record, not for the right reasons, but I think she went 0 for 60. That was the first time ever in Jeopardy history that one contestant missed the first 60 questions. And so they're writing it like she never got a question right, which is wrong. She did get a couple questions right there, but the fact that she didn't get a question right for the first 60 is the record that she set. She did get the final Jeopardy right, but she, lost to Rachel Dratch and Macaulay Culkin. Rachel Dratch had 33,601. And Culkin had 33,600. Ooh, that was a close match. And then bringing up the rear is the man Becky Lynch.
Rachel beat Macaulay by a buck.
Yeah, for 1,000. She got 1,000. Which either she got it right, or they typically always give $1,000 to someone for competing.
She got the final Jeopardy question right, and so finished with. And she doubled because she was in the negative going into the final Jeopardy, but they wanted her to play, so they bumped it to 500 to at least have her be able to bet something in the final round, and she bet it all and she got it right. So good for her.
Yeah.
Okay. For charity.
The V Foundation, Connor's Cure. Always a good stuff there.
Yep.
So guess what? I'll play the video. These are some really good comments by Logan Paul.
Yeah. We gotta talk about this.
Here we go.
Our WWE fan. I was a casual fan. I've always had so much respect for the sport. I always thought it was so cool. I had my favorite wrestlers growing up, but I wasn't watching Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown every day like some people are doing now. People ask me, like, what's so special about the belt? What does it mean? And to me, it's a symbol of accomplishment and trust in the craft and the human. The WWE doesn't just give this belt to someone. It is them entrusting you with their publicly traded company worth $4 billion at the moment. Like, it's a big deal that they stamp you and are willing to say you're significant enough and have done enough disruption in our company for us to put one of our titles on you. There's only like 4 or 5. Like, there's not that many of them, and there's a bunch of people on the roster. And so winning this for me was such a achievement, because in that moment when my hand was raised and they handed me this shiny, heavy belt, the United States champion, I just saw my whole life in front of my eyes, all my ups, all my downs, even from when I was a kid, from almost dying when I hit my head on a trampoline 1 inch away from my temple. I have a metal plate in my head now. The injuries I suffered in high school, writing down on a piece of paper, I will be the best, I will be a champion, I will be better, faster, stronger than I was last year, I will excel, and manifesting a future so bright that I didn't even know it was possible. Then all of a sudden one day I'm in Saudi Arabia performing for 10,000 people and millions at home, holding the United States champion, a homegrown kid who worked his ass off, and at one point in my life when I was a little kid held the little WWE belt on my shoulder, and now I have a real one that's mine, and it's a dream I never thought I could accomplish, because I just never thought it was possible. Like, what simulation are we living in? But it was such a special moment because it's so symbolic of all the things I have overcome and how hard I've worked to be where I am today, not just in the WWE. This podcast, the company, the hurdles, the fiance, wrestling, boxing, everything is culminated, and that is the physical embodiment of my hard work and the ups and downs I've had my entire life. And so that's why it's a big fucking deal.
I can't say it as much as you want to say, but the dude gets it.
Damn,
I
man.
mean, you know,
Look,
and
he's still got his detractors, which is completely understandable.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he gets it. That we've heard from a lot of wrestlers over the years who grew up as fans of wrestling and decided that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do with my life. I want to be a professional wrestler. I've said a lot of the same things he just said, because it is a big deal, especially these days, especially with WWE, because with Triple H having, you know, a lot of title reigns be a lot longer. I mean, like, it's like Roman's closing out like 1,100 days. He's like, there's only a couple of wrestlers who've been WWE champion, like had a longer title reign than Roman currently has. And it's a really short list, including like Hulk Hogan, Bruno Sammartino, and Bob Backlund. So it's like those guys are like legends of the sport. You know, it's like, so. And then Gunther is still Intercontinental Champion. He broke Honky Tonk Man's record. It's like, who knows when his historic reign is going to get snapped. So the fact that it's a very smart move, because it's like it gets eyes on the product, but also it's not just like, oh, he's, you know, they're doing it just because, you know, of who he is and you know, and everything. It's you watch his matches. It's like he's really good in the ring too.
yeah,
It's like, and he's really, you've heard everyone say, like, he's been training really hard. He keeps on training to improve in the ring, and it shows. I mean, he's had like really damn good matches against a lot of people.
Yeah.
So the fact that they, like you said, that they are entrusting him to be one of their champions and be a face for the company outside the ring in that manner, that's a big deal. And he understands that. And just talking about, you know, like being like, you know, like even it's like he wasn't saying he was a diehard fan, he was just a casual fan. But now, you know, it's like the you know, I was walking around with a, you know, toy WWE title belt when I was a kid, and now I have a real one. You know, it's like
who didn't, right?
I've heard Seth and a lot of people say the same thing. It's it's surreal to them. Like I did it. You know, it's like I got here, and it's like I made it to the top. You know, it's like, because it's not easy. It's hard work, man. And it's like,
yeah, and he understands the key thing of the belt doesn't make you, you make the belt, and that's kind of what his whole. I know it was a lot of word salad there for a little bit, but basically, if you kind of get into what he was talking about, them entrusting him with the belt, he understands that he makes the belt. The belt doesn't make him. He hasn't made it. It's him propelling it, and they're entrusting in him to make that belt mean something. And obviously bring more eyeballs. It's because it's a business. You're supposed to be, you know, we're in the money making business. That's what it is. But as far as what the belt and the history and all that stuff represents of it, he's knowing that they're putting, you know, he's got the pressure now. But just because you get the strap, now let's see you with the strap type of thing. Like, you made the mountaintop, but you got to stay on there. You got to defend it type of thing. But with him, you know, and you saw everybody congratulating himself, but like you said, and he just came out and I think on this podcast, he did say basically he's stepping away from boxing. He's just doing WWE full time, which I figured he'd have to do. It was like, all right,
yeah, when you're a champion, you got to be full time. It's like
yeah.
because Triple H and others have definitely heard the criticism of. I mean, as great as Brock Lesnar is, and he's a future future first ballot Hall of Famer wrestler. WWE was rightly criticized when they put the belt on him and he was like a part timer and like he was barely around it. And the same criticism is being leveled right now at Roman, which is completely justified. That it's like he's become very part timer, and it's frustrating. It's like so I think they're going to do the opposite with Logan Paul. They're going to make sure that he's going to be appearing on TV on a pretty enough regular basis where it doesn't feel like with Roman, like, oh geez, it's been a month. It's like, oh, Roman's finally back after being off for like a month. It's like or two. It's like,
yeah, and that's criticism that's understandable, but also is too. It's like don't. Because everyone's saying like you're not going to put the belt on Logan because then he's going to be gone. Like, and so there's 2 belts. So you have 2 championships, singles titles that the person's not there weekly. So far, he's taking the belt everywhere. They're showing him, doing his social media stuff, and so it's still relevant.
You show him like sleeping with the belt with his girlfriend. Right. It's like
with
he's
fiance,
wearing it in the
taking a shower with it.
It's like it's like he's doing it on purpose to get because that's gonna get attention. It's gonna get clicks.
Yeah, and it's keeping him on the show when he's not physically on the show. Yeah. And then he's also doing this, and he's taking the belt literally everywhere, and he's always posting on social media. I think there was a video he did with his brother. And stuff like that. So he is staying relevant every week and making sure he's pumping out that content to be like, yes, I'm taking the belt everywhere. And there's been many a times where the person has taken the belt once they've won it and they haven't appeared on the show, but you see them doing little vignettes or something like that, where they're traveling around with it. So we obviously called this that he was going to win over Rey to begin with.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
And after his comments there, we already kind of knew it. Like I've listened to him a couple times. We've had
because everyone felt Rey was like just like a transitional champion to whoever they was going to be the champion.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be Escobar, but I think he was hurt. I don't know why they made that decision. I mean, I
was hoping it was going to be Escobar, but it's like I personally don't care for Logan Paul, but it's like. It's like as long as he puts on good matches and entertains the fans, that's all that matters.
And he does that. He does that. I mean, people were sitting there joking after his first couple matches, like, "Oh, he's actually really good." And then the Royal Rumble spot, and you're like, "Oh, actually, he's really good."
That match he had against Roman in Saudi last year, it was crazy good.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay, he's really, really good. Like he can hold his own against anybody."
And he's so natural being a heel. It's like that. Also, he gets. It's like he's killing it.
Yeah, and his mic skills are fine. Like they're not great, but he can get heat, and it's not always like cheap heat. It's like that, but he can still draw heat with the best of them. So, and all he's kind of like Dom, where all he has to do is just open his mouth and people just start booing him. So
same with same with Don Callis. It's like oh we hate you so much we don't want to even hear you speak.
Who'd you say?
Don Callis.
Oh, Don Callis. I thought you said Doc Gallows. I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about, dude? He's too sweet. Anyway.
He's too sweet.
Oh, and Machine Gun took, speaking about that, I just saw on Machine Gun's Instagram that Mia and Doc went to one of Machine Gun's many kids' high schools for career day. And so they're hanging out with the kids there. So that's a nice little cool thing. If everyone wants to check out Machine Gun's Instagram, he's always a good follow. And I think he just had his like 8th kid. So kind of crazy there. All right, moving on. Any other news?
I think it's all the bigger news.
All righty. Well, sir, let's move on to that thing called SmackDown and a new announcer, at least for the temporary bit.
Yeah.
Time.
There I am. Yeah,
sorry about that. Continue.
Yeah, so because Corey Graves and Carmella had their baby son was born last week. Corey was not on SmackDown announcing duties this episode. So they brought in Kevin Owens to the announce desk to serve as a guest announcer in his place, which is a smart move because Kevin has shown previously whenever he's on commentary, he kills it. He's absolutely hilarious and says really good stuff. And he definitely did that throughout this episode. So the show opened with LWO coming out. Rey was talking, not happy that he lost the U.S. title to Logan Paul at Crown Jewel, as we were talking about. and that like he stole it from him, but Carlito was like, "Yo, Rey, you're blaming the wrong person," and then he started pointing fingers at Santos Escobar, saying like, "Yo, dude, why did you conveniently leave those brass knuckles on the apron for Logan to be able to pick up and use to beat Rey for the title? Did you do that on purpose?" Santos didn't appreciate the accusation. They got into an argument, and Santos left in a huff with Rey and Zelina Vega going after him. Legado stayed out to try to watch Carlito's back because he was facing Bobby Lashley in a match. Pretty decent match. Eventually, Montez Ford got involved, and he messed with Carlito, allowing Lashley to hit the spear to get the victory. The heel team went for a beatdown, but and they were beat up on Carlito, and Santos came out, but he didn't really go to help Carlito right away, and so Rey came out with a chair to chase the heels off, went to help Carlito, and that's when Santos went full heel. He attacked Rey from behind, tossed Carlito out. He and Rey went back and forth, and then eventually, as we mentioned, to cover Rey being out for his knee surgery, he put his leg in, got his leg wedged inside the steel steps and smashed it, injuring him. Zelina Vega ripped into him, and Santos was like, Rey brought this on himself. It's his fault, and but the rest of the OWO helped Rey to the back. Then after that, we had a segment where Damage Control came out. Bailey was like, "Okay, what's up with this whole Kairi Sane situation? That was not part of the plan. You didn't discuss this with me." And he was like, "Yeah, look, I understand you had a plan, but I decided to come up with my own plan, and I called Kairi in to help." And Dakota would try to play peacemaker, saying, "Yo, Bailey, having Kairi Sane on the team makes the group stronger." Because Bailey was obviously worried about their history, which had been brought up before. And Kairi said, "Yo, hey Bailey, I'm here to help. I respect you as leader of Damage Control, and I forgive you. It's bygones be bygones." And so they did a group hug, awkwardly. Bianca Belair finally came out, was like, "Oh, all right, I've had enough of this crap. We're gonna get payback tonight because I'm not the only one that doesn't like Damage Control right now." And she brought out both Charlotte Flair and Asuka, and setting up a 6-woman tag between the babyfaces and Damage Control in the main event. Then we had Dragon Lee taking on Cedric Alexander. Dragon Lee won. Really nice, not a long match, but really cool for the time they had, and the fans were really into it. They gave it a "This is awesome" chant, which says the fans were definitely into it. So these two putting on some really good matches. I'd say give them more time, and we could have a real 5-star banger in our hands. So, but good for that they're giving Dragon Lee when they're trying to put him out there and get him over, and it's starting to work. LA Knight, of course, came out. Yeah. Fans happy to see him. Cut a promo saying, he had Roman dead to rights, but as usual, the Bloodline saved his behind and called out Jimmy Uso for saving Roman and keeping the title on him. And he promised that he was not finished with the Bloodline, and that he was going to eventually get his hands on the WWE Championship. So we shall see. Grayson Waller came out to rebut. They exchanged words. LA Knight getting in some really good digs, which led to a match, which LA Knight, of course, won the match. Now, after this match, Austin Theory came out, and he and Grayson Waller, who have been butting heads with Kevin Owens lately, and I think they also especially didn't appreciate Kevin Owens pulling a move from Pat McAfee and using a telestrator to show slow-mo of how he punched both of them last week. They didn't appreciate it, so they started heckling KO at the ringside and dumping water on his head. And because they were trying to provoke him, because he had said that Nick Aldis had told him that if he got physically involved with another wrestler while he was doing commentary, he was going to get suspended. And so he apologized to Michael Cole, said, "I'm about to get suspended," and then he went and beat up on the heels. And he definitely got suspended. So unfortunately, KO was out for the rest of the show, off the commentary after that. Jimmy Uso cut a quick promo saying that he's not done with LA Knight either, saying that they're going to have a one-on-one match next week and he got a phone call from Roman because he said yeet, and Roman doesn't like to hear the word yeet. Then in the main event, big thing happened in the main event. We had Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka taking on the new and improved Damage Control with Kairi Sane, because Dakota is still not back declared to wrestle again. So this was a back and forth match. Kind of noticed something was going on because Asuka was not tagged into the match for the at all during the majority of it. And then when Bianca went to make a hot tag to Asuka to help her out, Asuka pulled her hand back and then misted her in the face. And much to the surprise of the heels, but she made it clear that she wants to join Damage Control, which delighted Kairi Sane, Io, and also Bayley. They all hugged and then proceeded to beat down on Charlotte and Bianca, and the match got thrown out, disqualification. Shotzi tried to run out to try to help Bianca and Charlotte, but she got beaten down too. They beat the three baby faces down and stood tall, arms raised, 10 shows. So, wow, Damage. It's funny. People were saying earlier this year that Damage Control wasn't working and needed to go. And like Judgment Day, now they have a second life because first Kairi Sane and now Asuka has joined the group. Now they are a real force to be reckoned with in the women's division on SmackDown, because that's a lot of top tier women talent on one heel faction right now. So quite a surprise move, but it kind of made sense because Asuka goes way back with both Kairi Sane. They were tag team champions, and also Io as well. So it makes sense that she would want to side with them. And besides, she's kind of been very heelish most of this year, so it didn't really make sense for her to suddenly be on the babyface side. So I was kind of like, that's a little weird. And then while the match was happening, and it was like when she went, and then when she pulled the tag, I was like, oh, there it is. Oh. And so I think this is a brilliant move. And of course, it's setting up the women's War Games match. Damage Control for the second year in a row is going to be in a War Games match against a babyface team led by Bianca. So, but the odds are, I think that Damage Control is going to win this time because they lost to Bianca and Becky and company last year. So having them lose 2 years in a row, especially on the heels of this of Kairi Sane and Asuka joining the faction, wouldn't make sense. So odds are they're going to win War Games no matter who the fourth person that Bianca, Charlotte, and Shotzi are going to find to team with them for the match. So kind of a okay SmackDown, but the ending with the Asuka turning on the baby faces and joining Damage Control was quite an awesome show ender. And can't wait to see what's going to happen next. I'm excited.
Yeah. So they're just going to keep. You think they're going to keep it at 4?
I think because
Dakota Kai's hurt.
It would be 5 out of 5 if Dakota could go in the ring. She's still not cleared to return to action yet, which is why she's kind of become like the corner woman / manager kind of person who's like, she's there at ringside. She can do some shenanigans, but she's not wrestling right now because she's not 100% yet. If she was 100%, it would be 5 out of 5 because they did 5 out of 5 last year. Because they had they had Rhea and I forget who else. Nikki. They brought in Nia and Ricky to help them out against Team Bianca last year. But I think they're just going to keep. I think they're going to keep the 1-4-4, and of course we're going to talk about the men going 5-5 because, as I said, my prediction is starting to come true. So the speculation is running wild on who the fourth woman is going to be for the baby faces in the War Games match. Everyone from Jade Cargill to Becky Lynch has been speculated. Sean Ross Sapp says he's hearing that they think it's going to be Becky Lynch, but that's be kind of weird, especially because she's on Raw right now, and also she's in the middle of a feud with Xia Li as well. On top of that, so it'd be kind of weird. They'd have to do some weird, especially with the GMs. I don't see Adam Pearce willing to loan Becky Lynch to SmackDown for Nick Aldis
or Xia Li, depending on what the match goes. I know kind of getting ahead of Raw, but or what the match does next week between those two. So because I mean, just have all the Asians in War Games, against.
That's why I don't think Jade. If they were going to put Jade Cargill on the babyface side, then the baby side would have to win because they're not going to have Jade lose a match in her debut.
Right.
So it's like
not going to do that. On there, I know, and
Damage Control needs this win. Damage Control needs to win the War Games.
And they're still teasing the Bailey turning babyface.
And also, because they want things to be cool, and it's obviously they're setting up for Bailey to get the Edge treatment and get kicked out of the group at some point in the near future. It's going to happen, especially now that Asuka's also joined up. It's only a matter of time before her paranoia will come true, and they will turn on her and kick her to the curb.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun beforehand because this woman's heel faction is really strong now that they got Tracy and Asuka.
Really, it's fun. It definitely is.
It's
fun.
awesome. Three of my favorite Japanese women wrestlers on the same heel faction.
Yep.
It's a gift from heaven.
Yeah. And then, come on, you traded Kevin Owens and then don't know what to do with him. Like I don't get it.
It feels like a filler feud what he's doing right now.
Oh no, it's a filler feud, but I'm just like, you traded him there. You figured you have a plan of some sort because Sammy's still doing fine.
Sammy's doing great.
Yeah. But like Kevin Owens is like coming out, like obviously I understand why he was, but he's just doing a filler feud with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, but it's hilarious. But it's
working. It's like the Pat McAfee loved him using the telestrator like he would do when he was on SmackDown with Cole. So
Look at this stage.
Pat McAfee gave a big thumbs up to KO for that on Twitter.
With the LWO, looks like they're going to have Civil War, is what I've been hearing through the dirt sheets. That's kind of what they're going to go with as far as like, all right, whose side do you want, Rey's or Santos type of thing. Which who knows what that's all going to. If they go that angle, I don't know. Like I said, we won't have Rey's not going to be back for a while.
It seemed like even Legado Del Fantasma tag team. Like they were not on Santos' side. They were there with Zelina helping right to the back. So they were not. Nobody was happy with Santos turning on them at all. So it's like.
But that's what was teased. That's all I'm reading.
It's been teased for a bit, and a lot of people, including myself, were starting to speculate, especially because he just conveniently left the brass knuckles right on the apron for Logan Paul to be.
I was glad that was explained because I forgot to mention that last week during our review of Crown Jewel. I'm like that was the dumbest. Like if they did that, meaning like, and they didn't even talk about it. That's that old school. Really, just
that's why I felt the heel turn coming because Carlito did not hesitate to call him out for that. Like, yo, dude, that was really sus. What's up, man?
Right.
Like,
so I'm so glad they did that because that's that old school, that stuff that would frustrate us is like, it's conveniently right there, even though you came for this like that. Just again, continuity, guys. Keep with it. You're doing pretty decent with it. Yeah. I mean, it's a LA Knight's still great. Can never get enough of him.
Oh, and they did post a video showing Nick Aldis. KO was with Kathy Kelly, and Nick Aldis came up and was like, I warned you. You're suspended. Despite KO was like, they provoked me. And he's like, yeah, I understand, but I told you not to get physical, and you did. So you're suspended. Yeah. So right now, KO is suspended per GM Nick Aldis.
I don't know. I'm just waiting for that. Remember when John Cena was suspended and he showed up every single time? That was fun.
Yeah, that's not going to stop KO. It's like all this it's like you don't know. It's like if you don't know that's not going to stop KO from doing what he needs to do, then you're making a mistake.
Right. Dragon Lee, Cedric Alexander. Yeah, you can fight forever. That's always a fun match. I'm glad Cedric Alexander's getting some screen time and showing off what he's capable of.
For a match that was like under 10 minutes, the fans giving it "This is awesome" chant says it all right there.
Yeah,
so
that's the AEW feature of the week because that's pretty much every match on AEW.
Right.
On there. And then kind of wrapping up here, where do you think are they just going to do Jimmy Uso versus LA Knight at Survivor Series? Or is it already booked for next week?
It's booked for SmackDown this week tomorrow.
Okay, so so that's the thing is like, what is LA Knight going to do for Survivor Series?
That's what I'm wondering. It's like,
Because if everything's going the way we're thinking it's going to go for the War Games for the men's side, LA Knight's not going to be a part of it.
Unless it's a small, unless like the match doesn't like really happen, and and then they have a proper match on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, something like that. Which it's just something for the card, but you just got to have LA Knight on the card. Like you can't not have number 3 in merch sales on for the year, not on the card. They'll have them on the show somehow.
Yeah, like LA Knight is like right behind Cody and Roman as far as like merch sales right now. It's like it's like just shows you how popular he is.
Yeah, we forgot to run that down, but that's okay. We can go over next week. All right. Anything else for SmackDown?
No, it's a pretty decent show.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Great ending.
Great
decent show, but excellent ending.
Yeah. Just kind of these are through line. Just a little hints. That's the thing about most now wrestling as far as the WWE brand. It's not just a whole bunch of fodder. It's little doses, little dose of continuity. Here's where we're going, but you still keep you guessing. Just that's what draws us in. The matches will keep us marks there all the time. But the casual fan, you need that solid storytelling that's going to keep you tuning in week to week. That keeps you coming back. So,
because like the Asuka thing, Asuka not being happy, Kairi was joining Damage Control and deciding to work with Bayley because of what happened. That would make sense that Asuka wouldn't be thrilled, but she's been so heelish. She's been acting, she's been very heelish for most of this year. So her turning on them actually also made sense because Kairi and I said Kairi and Io and her all go way back. So she's going to side with them over Bianca and Charlotte, who she's feuded with a lot this year.
Yeah.
So
and shout out to BFAB's going to join Lashley and the Street Profits. That's
They're teasing it that BFAB's going to join Lashley. They need to give Lashley a stable name, man. It's like they give him a good name. Like
now, also too,
the Lashley stable for now. There's something.
I do want to point out the reason Bianca isn't involved is because I guess her and Montez want to he does his thing, she does his thing or her thing. They really don't want to be a part of anything.
It's like Seth and Becky because Seth and Becky when they were put together and they feuded against Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans back in 2019. That didn't exactly go over well with the fans, and they weren't too happy about it either. They prefer to keep things separate. Like it's acknowledged that they're married and everything, and they have a daughter. That's not. They don't pretend like that's not real. But Seth and Becky their orbits don't cross each other on Raw. It's like, and they're doing the same thing with Bianca and Montez. It's like,
So they're just keeping
it makes sense.
Yep. All right, sir. Now to Monday Night Raw.
Oh boy, Monday Night Raw. So Monday Night Raw kicked off with the babyface team for War Games coming out. Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Seth Rollins, world champion. Talking about War Games and taking on Judgment Day. Cody was talking about, the team and that, it's like, everyone's had their differences against each other in the past, but, it's like we're going to work together because we all agree that Damage Control needs to be brought down. Judgment Day. Yeah, I'm confused. So Judgment Day came out. Damian and Cody got into a war of words on the mic, and finally, especially when Cody started needling, both Sami and Cody were needling them about Rhea being in charge and seeing like, she looks like she's the leader of the team, not you. What caused Damian to snap and said, "I'm the leader of this team," which kind of surprised his teammates. That whole argument set up Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn taking on Dirty Dom Mysterio and JD McDonough in a tag match. It's a fine match, but it didn't eventually damage. The rest of Judgment Day got involved, causing a disqualification. And both sides brawled again, just like they did last week. And Adam Pearce was not happy and said that since Cody and Jay were getting a rematch for the tag titles in the main event of the show, that he was everyone else on either side who was not involved in the match would be kicked out of the building before the main event happened, so there would be no shenanigans. Well, there was, which we'll get to. So then Shinsuke Nakamura took on Otis. His going through Alpha Academy continues. He defeated Otis in a pretty good match and locked eyes with Gable, teasing that they might have a throwdown in the near future. Shinsuke keeps talking about wanting someone to come and challenge him. So I don't know where that's going to lead. One backstage segment that was important for later on that I want to mention now is that Drew McIntyre went to Seth Rollins and said, hey, you know what? You were right. I have no one to blame for losing at Crown Jewel against you but myself. And that I'm going to do what I was doing. I'm going to earn my way back up to the top. And offered his hand, and they shook hands. And Seth had to leave because, he was being kicked out of the building by Pierce before the main event. Tegan Nox took on Piper Niven, defeated her to continue the feud that her and Natty have with her and Chelsea Green, the women's tag team champions. The DIY Imperium feud continues. Louis Kaiser got a win over Tommaso Ciampa thanks to Giovanni attacking Gargano at ringside, distracting Ciampa long enough for Kaiser to do the surprise roll-up and a handful of tights to get steal the victory. Damian Priest in the back apologized to the rest of Damage Control for declaring that he was leader of the group, but Rhea and company were like, hey, no, it's cool. We get it. In fact, we decided that for War Games, you are in charge. And they finally, officially say that JD McDonough is a member of Judgment Day. So after multiple months here, JD McDonough is now officially a member of Judgment Day. Xia Li took on Indy Hartwell and won by ref stoppage when she did her devastating kick attack, which knocked Indy silly just like Candice LeRae, and the ref declared she couldn't continue, giving Xia the victory. Becky Lynch came out to attack Xia, but she bailed and ran to the back. Becky told her she's only got 7 more days to keep on running because they will have a match one-on-one finally next week. The Miz took on Ivar. So their issues from the number 1 contender match last week. Miz got the win thanks to Bronson Reed coming out and distracting Ivar because they had words previously in the back. And then after the match, he attacked Ivar, laid him out, and hit him with the tsunami. And then finally, we got to the main event, the Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Finn Balor defending the tag team titles against Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso in a rematch. Judgment Day got the win because we've been waiting for it. We've been talking about it for months on end. Drew McIntyre finally went back to the dark side. Drew came out and while the ref was distracted, he claymored Jey Uso, who was outside of the ring. He tossed Jey back into the ring, letting Finn Balor pin him for Judgment Day to retain the titles. Drew walked up the ramp. Rhea Ripley came out, smiled, offered her hand, and Drew shook it, and the two smiled, standing tall, while Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso were left very unhappy in the ring to end Raw. So they finally pulled the trigger on the heel turn, and as my crazy prediction, half of it has come true. Drew has aligned himself with Judgment.
He has aligned himself.
I don't know if he's going to officially consider him your friend, kind of like JD was until now that he's an official member of the group. So he has he sold his soul to get his way back to the top, and it completely makes sense with everything that's going on. It's like his frustration on losing. He's not happy. He still holds a grudge against Jey. And he's not happy that Sammy and Cody and all them are easily forgiving Jey and all that stuff. So this has been coming for quite a while. So that ending made me go, yes.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, I expect next week on Raw, Damian and Finn, because you could tell Finn's reaction was like, "What the heck just happened?" So he was confused. So they're gonna have the whole conversation was like, "You didn't tell me anything about Drew."
They kind of hinted at because they told Rhea that you're still working on that project, right? And she said, yeah. So I think it was more just, I think their surprise was that Drew actually decided to accept their offer and become their friend.
Okay.
It's been kind of teased because Rhea's been because the whole thing between him and Rhea has been going on for weeks, it's like, and she's made an offer to, hey, we can be your friends. It's like, we can help you out. For weeks now, she's been trying to convince Drew to come over to the dark side, and he's finally accepted. So, yeah, it'll probably be more. I think they were just surprised that Drew decided to help them more that they didn't know what was going on because they kind of hinted at it. this has been teased for weeks, and also they kind of hinted that because they were saying like you're working. It's like that thing you're working on, Rhea. How's it going? It's like I'll let you know. I'm gonna, it's like so. Her and Drew have been having more conversations behind the scenes that have not been on camera, obviously. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm totally game for it, especially if we get who we think's going to be coming next week.
My other half of the prediction comes true. We'll find out. We might be seeing the return of the Viper very soon.
Yeah. Speaking about returns, I know I don't like alluding to it, but people keep sitting there and they kind of like trying to, like freaking It's Always Sunny with the charts and everything. Like they're connecting Shinsuke talking about CM Punk. I'm like, no, stop it. You stop it right now.
That's what everyone thinks is they're thinking he's calling out CM Punk and that he's going to show up. It's like
he did the go to sleep to like a few weeks ago. Like, and he's kind of done. He's dropped some other subtle.
I believe until it happens.
So yeah, but that's I won't talk about that. A big thing overall, and I kind of messaged you while I was watching the show.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you're building new stars. The crowd doesn't know who the hell they are, so therefore the crowd's going to be kind of quiet when they come out.
Yep.
But you have to in order to build new stars, you have to get them on screen.
Yep.
So with Tegan and Xia Li, like they kind of came out to murmurs.
But especially Xia got the kill for knocking Indy Sealy just like she's done to Candice and Becky, and then when she ran away from Becky instead of confronting her, she got some serious heat. So it's building. So they're trying to, and Triple H is trying to do it because these two have not been utilized very well for quite some time, and so it's going to take some time. It's like they're doing the right thing. They're putting them out there. They're getting them involved with people who have are either heat or are over with the fans to help elevate them. Why else would you put Xia Li into a feud with Becky Lynch of all people? It's like they're trying to build Xia up as a heel threat,
right?
Which is also why she's challenging Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's title next week. Which I'm not worried about Lyra losing the title. I think Becky's probably going to get involved. Probably going to distract her. I don't know what's going to happen between the two of them on Raw, but I have a feeling Becky's going to have Lyra's back and probably maybe cause enough of a distraction to Xia Li that'll let Lyra Valkyria beat her, and because they're not taking the belt off Lyra this quickly, man. So it's like even though they're trying to build up Xia as someone to be feared with with that kick maneuver, knocking people silly. She's not going to be taking the title off of her right now. And it's like, so something's going to happen.
A couple other things. Obviously, Miz being a face. Ivar's real voice, that was weird.
It was weird hearing Ivar get to talk. He's talking more than I've heard in a long time, but it makes sense because they're pushing him as a single star while his tag team partner is not going to be back for like at least a year. So he's going to be on it. Him and Valhalla are going to be on their own for quite a while. So, and he's really talented. He can really go in the ring, man. It's like those matches he had with he's had banger matches with like Ricochet and both members of New Day. He's really talented. So
no, I've seen his. If you don't think Ivar can even do singles, go watch their ROH stuff. They were really there's War Machine. They were really good.
So we're getting a big mini men slap and meat feud here between Ivar and Bronson Reed, which I'm all for. It's like more meat, please.
I'm coming around more and more on Bronson. He has a swagger about him.
He does.
Really
he does. It's like it's like they're really. It's like him getting to speak more. He's really getting to build the heel persona he has. It's like he's got that you want to F with me? Bring it on, buddy. You have no idea who you're dealing with.
Right. He's just kind of like your funeral type of.
And the fans are starting to react to that Tsunami finisher. It's like the fans reacted when they saw he was going up to hit him with Tsunami. Fans are like, oh. So,
right. Do you like that Diawaki's taking L's like 2 weeks in a row?
No, but it's the only thing mitigating it is that it's via shenanigans.
Right.
Eventually, they're going to get their Imperium's going to get their comeuppance, and both of them are going to be in the doghouse because now it's going back and forth. Because for a while, Giovanni was in the doghouse with Gunther. Now Giovanni's out of the doghouse, and Kaiser is getting ignored, and he doesn't like that. So, I'm not too worried. It is a little annoying, but I know DIY is going to come out on top and putting both members of Imperium in Gunther's doghouse as a result.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, come on, people, it's DIY. Get more when they came out. It was kind of,
please.
I was like, please, just can people scream when they come out, because like they're awesome, and people act like they don't know who they are, which I guess, I mean, they haven't been DIY for 10 years.
The fact that they've lost, even though they've lost 2 weeks in a row, it was because of shenanigans by Imperium. So it's like they're not clean. They're not clean losses. If they were losing clean as a sheet, then I would be worried. But yeah, it's the further storyline. Yes, it's annoying that they're losing, but they're not losing clean because Imperium's cheating like motherfuckers. So it's like it's building to them getting their payback. Probably, I would assume it's Survivor Series.
Okay.
They're probably gonna have
a couple other things before we wrap up this show. Obviously, Seth and Cody's little backstage segment.
That was nice.
That was nice to like at least realize that there is tension. And people are like, oh, because he's going for his title. I was like, no, dude, they had a trilogy. They don't like each other.
There's real life tension. It's like like in real life, they're not BFF. They're not best friends. It's like they've had issues with each other in the past, but they put that aside because they're professionals. And I'm glad that they addressed that, because also in kayfabe on the shows last year they had a red hot feud against each other.
And Seth was the one that put Cody out of action.
Yeah, exactly. Like the trilogy of matches they had from Mania to that Hell in a Cell match where Cody wrestled with torn pec was an amazing feud. And Cody won all the. It's like came out on top of that feud, including wrestling with the torn pec. So it's like, which they brought up. It's like Judgment Day Needham, like it's like, you're okay working with Cody here, who you couldn't beat at all last year. It's like even when he had a torn pec, it's
right.
Yeah. So it was nice that they addressed that. Hey, look, we're not friends, but we have a common enemy in Judgment Day. We can work together to take them down.
Yeah. And then shout out to the producer who was trying to keep Ivar back from behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, that was funny. I missed that until you showed it to me. I was like, I didn't catch that. It's like he's like, no. It's like, you got to stay on the shot.
Yeah, you realize why he was standing there, to make sure
make sure nobody showed up in the background.
Right. Until someone was like, "This is the biggest push Ivar's ever had."
That was really funny.
Yeah, I was like, did I see that? And then someone pointed it on Twitter. I was like, oh, Justin, yeah, I saw.
And the other thing I want to talk about was that there was a big backstage segment with all the tag teams going on. Alpha Academy.
I was getting ready to say that was my last little thing. That was hilarious, but it's whatever.
Because Tozawa. Yeah. Tozawa is really good at comedy, man. It's like they found his niche for him, and he seems to be happy with it. He rolls with it. He's really good at it. So it's like I've heard some people say that maybe they should split the tag titles so that each show has them. But I'm looking forward to. It'll be interesting who's going to be taking those tag titles off of Judgment Day in the near future. Because it's not going to be Cody and Jay, because they just did that just as part of the overall feud. They're going to give them to Real Tate. It's like, it'll be interesting. I mean, like, it's like we could have some amazing matches and feuds between you got Alpha Academy, New Day. Now we got the Creed brothers on there. We got DIY back as well. The tag division on Raw is fucking loaded, man. And it's like, so we can have
the other one too, with Pretty Deadly and the Brawling
Pretty
Brutes,
Deadly, the Brawling Brutes. The evil soup profits. It's like tag team wrestling is strong and deep right now. So hopefully they'll get properly utilized. But it was a funny segment, and I do like Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree off the side, just rolling their eyes and then talking about like, hey, you're actually pretty cool. I like you.
Right, and they need to make new belts. I've never liked the look of those belts. I think their belts are hideous.
And I'm wondering, it's like, I mean, if you're going to keep them unified, make some new belts, because that's a lot to add. It's like they're still carrying around two belts, at least
kind of what they did with Roman.
Yeah. It's like they made a new belt for Roman since he unified the titles.
It's going to be some big ass W like that stretches a football field. They have to carry it around everywhere they go.
But a lot of talking on this Raw. The wrestling doesn't last long except for the main event, but
it was a long main event. That was a
It
very
was.
long
They gave it a
because I
lot
saw
of
what was
time.
going off. I'm like, wait, we still got like 20, 30 minutes left in this. So it was definitely pretty long.
What I also like, shout out to the camera work because it started with Jace fighting Demon Priest outside, and all of a sudden he stops, does a slow turn, and then the camera turns and there's Drew McIntyre, and Cole's like, "Oh my God, what's Drew McIntyre? Ah, Claymore! Oh my God!" It's like the way the way that camera work. That's like some of the best camera work I've seen in a while. It's like Jay's like just the way he turned, and then Drew's like just standing there like, "Hello, I'm going to kill you now."
Right.
It's like I was like that was fantastic.
And then Michael Cole just randomly going, "Oh, because he's pissed off, but because of Bloodline." I'm like, okay, thanks, Michael, thanks for that nugget. It's always like those subtleties, like they call back.
Try to make it clear for those who may not.
No, I understand. It's just it's just that storytelling. It kind of, again, going back to the Jurassic Park stuff where she was like hacking into stuff, and they're like, "How did you know that?" She was like one little line. She goes, "I was a hacker." Thank you for that. Of a 2 hour, hour and a half movie, we said one little line that makes sense for why you're doing this. And then the other thing. I'm thinking the reason that Roman doesn't want Jimmy to say yeet is because that's literally Jay's thing. So he's like,
that's fine.
Don't you copy that,
Don't you copy your traitor brother.
Right. Don't you copy that traitor and all that. So that's I'm guessing that's probably why. Plus it's hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
I like I said, I still don't like the fact that Jimmy just magically decided to join back to Bloodline, but Jimmy's putting on some pretty hilarious character work.
He's doing some good comedy work. Adding some levity to the continued to the decline of the Bloodline, because it is declining despite what they may claim right now. Even though with Roman still got the title and Solo destroying Cena at Crown Jewel, their days are numbered. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like I said, 3 out of 5 for me on this show. It was fine. Like I said, not as much wrestling as there was before, and kind of some redundant 50-50 booking, but you had to get where you needed to go. And so, like it's kind of the same thing with SmackDown. Like you got it to where you needed to go, and then little subtleties of building for next week to make you want to tune in. Especially with us, we want to hear I hear voices in my head. See him.
They talk to me, they understand.
Alrighty, AEW.
All right, let's get to AEW. I'm going to go through this real quick, especially because got a lot to talk about. So I'm going to go quick and dirty, quick through Rampage. Normally I wouldn't mention Rampage too much, but the main event was a banger. Ricky Starks defeated Preston Vance. Red Velvet defeated Ruby Soho. Kingdom killed some jobbers real quick. But the main event is worth checking out between FTR taking on Vikingo and the Commander. Banger match, one of the best matches I've seen in Rampage in a while. Check it out. It was great. FTR won that one. As far as Collision, Andrade defeated Daniel Garcia and accepted CJ Perry's services as his new manager. And of course, the Redeemer Miro is not happy about this development, as we expected. Nick Wayne defeated Dalton Castle. Heyman Page cut a great promo on Swerve, saying that they're going to have a Texas Death Match at the Full Gear pay-per-view, and had a great line where he said that after he destroys and buries Swerve, that a year from now he and his son will go to his grave and piss on his ashes. Damn. But more on that to come. LFI defeated the Workhorsemen. House of Black cut a promo saying that they're going to come and win the tag team titles, and that Julia Hart is going to get a rematch with Statlander by taking out Willow Nightingale tonight. Roderick Strong actually wrestled, defeated Darius Martin. He and the Kingdom tried to do a beatdown, but actually Andretti saved his friend. Tony Khan and Bryan Danielson did a backstage announcement announcing that there's going to be a Continental Classic, a 12-man round-robin tournament over the next month and a half, with the finals taking place at the World's End pay-per-view, which is going to close out the year. And Bryan Danielson, of course, is going to be in it. Basically, their own version of the New Japan G1, since it's for Danielson. Julia Hart did indeed defeat Willow Nightingale as House of Black prophesized. Julia Hart earned her spot in a triple threat match against Chris Statlander for the TBS title at the pay-per-view. The third person that will be we'll find out when we get to Dynamite. Ricky Starks and Big Bill got interviewed. They found out that they have to defend the tag team titles in a 4-way match against FTR, LFI, and the House of Black. Understandably, they're not happy about that, but they vowed to win despite the odds being against them. Powerhouse Hobbs destroyed a jobber less than a minute, no surprise. And then the main event, Darby, Alan Sting, and Adam Copeland defeated Lance Archer and the Righteous. Team Christian came out and had to stare down with the baby faces to end Collision. Then we get to Dynamite. Dynamite opened with Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta defeating Orange Cassidy and Hook. Moxley cut a promo afterwards, vowing that he was going to wreck Orange at the pay-per-view and take back the international title from him. Then we had Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland had a face-to-face before their Texas Death match at the pay-per-view this Saturday. Tony Schiavone told them that Tony Khan had ordered that they are not to touch each other. If they lay hands on each other, they would be suspended and the match would be off. Hangman just shredded Swerve on the mic, ripped him a new ass, just eviscerated him verbally. It was incredible. Fantastic promo, talking about how he's acting like a child and he's making stupid decisions. With a sick burn about like this is that's why like your girlfriend left you and your kids won't even talk to you. It's like, damn, dude. Said that even that he surrounded himself with yes men, and eventually people like Prince Nana will turn on him when they realize he's not a meal ticket anymore. And he also threatened to beat up Prince Nana and steal his weed, which the fans were all into, and chanted steal his weed in response. And Prince Nana's reaction was like, no, you're not going to do that, which is pretty funny. Hangman finished it with saying, well, I can't lay my hands on you, Swerve, but I can do this. And he proceeded to beat the hell out of Prince Nana with Swerve not being able to do anything until security broke it all up. Sky Blue defeated Red Velvet to earn her spot in the triple threat match for the TBS title. So it'll be Chris Statlander defending against Sky Blue and Julia Hart. It's going to be very interesting to see who's going to come out of that as the champion. Samoa Joe destroyed a jobber, John Cruz. And then afterwards cut a promo saying his offer to a friendship to MJF is still open, but time is running out for him. The Young Bucks defeated Penta El Zero and Commander. Thanks to cheating like hell, they delivered some low blows behind the ref's back to get the win. Kenny Omega confronted them backstage about their cheating, but they're like, hey, we don't give a crap. We want to win, and we're going to beat you and Jericho at the pay-per-view. But they made it clear that their issue is not with Kenny, it's more with Jericho. Jericho mouthed off at him, which led to a pull-apart brawl. The Guns killed some jobbers themselves in like 30 seconds and promised that they were going to, since there's two of them and only one of MJF with no Adam Cole, they're going to win the tag titles, RH tag titles at the pay-per-view. Then we had the, which have been hyped for the last couple weeks, the street fight. Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, and their allies Kota Ibushi and Paul White took on the Don Chaos family and Brian Cage in a street fight. Crazy, wild brawl. 6 spots and also some comedy too. Crazy spots, especially Hobbs slamming Big Show on top of a car, which is nuts. Really creative finish where Jericho and Omega teamed up and neutralized Powerhouse Hobbs to take him out of the match by tying him to the ropes with duct tape. And they, between a bat shot to Brian Cage's head, followed by the One-Winged Angel, that was enough for the babyfaces to emerge victorious in the street fight, much to Don Callis' disappointment. And then instead of that was not the main event match. Instead, we had a main event promo segment. MJF came out, talked about that he really can't outrun all the awful things he did when he was a mega heel in his AEW career. He apologized to the Acclaimed that they got caught in the crossfire of what's going on, and he hopes that they are going to heal up from the attack they got last week. He said that being on top of the mountain as a champ is tough, and he's afraid he's going to let the fans down, but he vows to keep on fighting and that it's going to take an army to remove him from the top of the mountain. And he promised that whoever the person behind the devil mask BS, he's going to find them and he's going to murder them. Jay White came out to interrupt, said that MJF becoming the good guy is a bunch of baloney, that he can't really change. He and Jay White are just alike. He doesn't really give a damn about the fans. And that he says that MJF knows that his days as champ are numbered because Jay White's going to defeat him and officially become the champion at the pay-per-view. And he only had 2 words left for MJF, get him, which led to, of course, Bullet Club Globe coming out of the woodwork to attack MJF. And it was a 4-on-1 beatdown. No one came out to help him. Blade Runner and the Juice Robinson them counted 3 and to say that that's what's going to happen at the pay-per-view. And Samoa Joe was shown in the back watching the whole thing on the monitor with a smile on his face as the show ended. So that was all the happenings on the AEW television this past week.
Yeah, I mean, still solid stuff from them. I wish more people would watch it. I wish more people would go. But you know, it is what it is on that. I mean, the stories are making sense. They're letting them build. I just don't understand why people aren't going. Is it because of the brand thing, or what, or how they're promoting it? I don't know.
It feels like though the crowds they've had better crowds lately. They've had they've had more fans there for the weekly shows, and also Tony says that they're doing well in the pay-per-view numbers. So, but it is because you know the weekly show attendance is a bit concerning, but they can turn around if they keep delivering a good product, and they're kind of like they're starting to head in that direction, especially if they feature more. I want to give a shout out to two segments that happened that weren't matches. Miro cut a great promo as he usually does, dissing his hot and beautiful wife, saying that she brings out the worst in him, unfortunately sometimes, and promised that anyone associated with her is going to suffer. So look out, Andrade. He's coming for you. That's going to be a hell of a feud. And also the new signee that showed up last week, I forget her name. RJ City was able to get her into Timeless Tony Storm's dressing room. There was a really funny segment where Tony thought she was there for other reasons, and she promised if there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. Foreshadowing,
right?
Because I think Tony's going to win the title again at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
How can you? She is so over with the Timeless character right now that they got to put the title back on her.
Yep.
It's like and this time Tony, do not give her a short reign. Give her a decent reign. Give her at least 6 months at least.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like because her previous 2 title reigns as women's champion were really short, and it's like which was really unfortunate. But this character, she's killing it. It's getting over. And I love it. I love how, especially where she's like, Luther, please call Mr. Khan. I need a warm-up match. You know,
right.
It's fantastic. I love everything about Timeless Tony right now.
Yeah. Hangman Page and Swerve was my favorite segment for sure of this whole
eviscerated him so
pretty
bad.
much of this whole week. It's just because that's the thing about that's the thing about AEW and WWE. When they're confident in you, they'll let you go and just have at it.
The thing that shocked me most about that was that Swerve had no rebuttal. It's like he was just like fuming at everything Page said, and he didn't even respond. So it's going to be very to see what's going to happen to the pay-per-view, after that verbal dissection Hangman gave him on Dynamite last night. Damn, dude.
The Samoa Joe's walk away as they come off the top rope will never get old.
Oh yeah, no.
And the guy's like throwing his hands up and looking.
Yeah, no, it became a meme.
Yeah,
really quick. Like,
really quick.
What are you doing?
Yeah. The Fatal 4-Way at the end was fun. Shout out to Powerhouse. Shout out to Big Show being able to take a bump like that still at his age.
Yeah, that was I was like, damn, dude. It's like
Kota
they're really
Ibushi,
doing a good job with Hobbs building him up as a powerhouse,
yeah,
especially with the way that Jericho and Omega were like, we got to take him out of the equation. They fucking tied him up with duct tape and the ropes so that he wasn't a threat.
It was. I like the little nod to the Jerry show of them both wearing suits the whole time, which I was surprised they wrestled in them. But
Reservoir Dogs-esque kind of suits,
right? They had a nice little cool entrance to the 4 of them, like when they were walking into the building. So that was pretty cool there.
Yeah, no, it's like the baby faces had a really cool vibe going, and also, God, Fletcher, man, that choke slam that he White gave him off the ramp, that looked brutal, dude. It looked like he kind of partially missed the table. I was worried for his safety.
It's that Spike Dudley bump. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh God. The crazy stuff with the bike. There was some really there were some brutal spots and also some weird comedy spots. So
the bike. I didn't really care for the bike thing.
It's like I felt they should have kept it a little more serious. It got a little too jokey at times.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't give it like wouldn't say it was like mind blowingly good. It was still a really fun match.
You can't have a scoop slam onto a car and have a pile driver through tables and chairs,
Yeah.
and then also have a ching ching boo 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 like that. It
Also, I
doesn't.
wish Ibushi had sold the tombstone through the table at ringside a little bit longer. he kind of recovered that a little too quickly.
Yeah, that typically would take someone out.
Yeah.
Like literally. On that.
I
But
wasn't
yeah,
surprised the Babyfaces won because with the match against the Bucks, Kenny and Jericho had to win this match to look strong going into the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So it's like, and plus Don Callis has been causing both of them such a nightmare that this was a big win. This was a big win over the Don Callis family in this feud.
And I hope I know we'll probably get it. Hopefully, we have enough time to get to full gear predictions because
I think we will. I'm gonna
put the. I just it sucks. I want Statlander to win, but they really haven't done nothing with her. And Julia Hart is over. So
yeah, it's like I like Statlander, but I'm feeling that I think both women's titles might change hands at the pay per view. It's the feeling I have right now.
It might. Yeah. No, and just literally FTR and the House of Black, they can just feud for the rest of the century. It does not bother me. Those guys put in work.
I'm glad that they're being inserted into the title scene now that because they did the trios thing. They had the trios title for a while and they had a good run with them. But I like that they're going back into the tag division.
And, shocker! I'm pretty sure Samoa Joe is going to be MJF's partner at Full Gear.
It's so clear that he's been resisting it, especially with showing Samoa Joe watching from the back and. Even Adam Cole told him you should probably take the deal. You should probably you should accept his help. I know you don't want to, but I don't think you have a choice.
Yep.
It's going to be revealed. Like, he's going to come out and the Guns think that, he's all by himself. We got this. And then Joe comes out and then they go, oh shit.
Yeah.
He's going to accept Joe's offer and Joe will team with him against the Guns to help him keep the tag titles. And probably have his back in some fashion for the title match.
Yeah. Anything else on AEW before we move on to NXT? Obviously, don't watch it. But I need to start.
That's about it. It's like it was nice to see a really good match on Rampage because Rampage is usually pretty passable. Unfortunately, it's like their version of the main event. It's like. Yeah, it's there to get people on television. That's about it. It's like not important things happen on that show anymore. Yeah. They're still working on Collision, and it's like because Collision was supposed to be the Big B show with CM Punk, and now that Punk is gone, they're trying to definitely make sure that the star power is there and it's not treated as an afterthought. So it's like they're trying to be like Dynamite is our Raw, Collision is our SmackDown. It's like it's A and B. It's like right. They're both important.
Yep.
So,
alrighty. So tell us about NXT.
NXT. So the build toward the Deadline pay-per-view in a few weeks continued. Sad news for Chase U. Chase U is in trouble, and the show opened with Andre Chase being swarmed by reporters. Asking about reports that Chase U was under investigation for some kind of scandal. We don't know what the details of the scandal are. All we know is that there's investigation. They haven't given any kind of thing as to why. This obviously ties into the whole envelope thing from the Tony D family that Andre got last week. Andre just said that he's cooperating and that's all he'll say. And then the show opened with him and defending the tag titles against the family in a rematch. Him and Duke Hudson did their best, but they were really Andre Chase was really distracted by there were some fans booing him in the crowd. The normal Chase U supporters in the audience started walking out. There was walkout chants. That distracted Andre enough that finally Tony D and Stax hit him with their bada bing, bada boom finisher. And the family is once again the tag team champions for a second time. So Chase U's reign as tag team champions was fortunately very short. Hall of Famer Alita on her Instagram announced the next Iron Survivor challenges. that would happen tonight. Roxanne Perez was taking on Lash Legend, and Trick Williams would take on Joe Coffey. The Supernova Sessions, Noam Dar's interview show happened with the Alpha Academy as their guests. A lot of back and forth between both groups happened, which eventually led to Chad Gable challenging Noam Dar to a Heritage Cup title match next week on NXT. That should be really fun. Major upset alert. Our girl Roxanne Perez lost to Lash Legend, but it was not clean because that darn Kiana James will not leave our Roxanne Perez alone. She came out and attacked Roxanne behind the ref's back, allowing Lash Legend to gain the advantage and hit her with her finisher to earn a spot in the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge match with Tiffany Stratton. Kiana James, you're a dead woman now. That's all I'm going to say. Xia Li and Lara Valkyria had a segment which was basically them sitting down and having a warrior tea ceremony to exchange words back and forth to build up to their title match next week. Trick Williams defeated Joe Coffey to qualify for the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge match. Mello was out there watching his back because of the rest of Gallus being at ringside, of course. Mello was trying to help, but kind of failed. Kind of also hinting that maybe there's something going on because the commentary were definitely talking about what was going on. So it's like Mello once again looks a little shady, even though Trick came out on top, which is awesome. Good for Trick. Glad that he's getting into the Iron Survivor match. The Brawling Brutes defeated OTM. No surprise there. One of my favorites, Gigi Dolan, finally gets a win again on television. She beat newcomer Ariana Grace. That was set up in a backstage segment earlier when Kiana James was bragging to the women's locker room about screwing Roxanne over, which led to Ariana Grace and Gigi Dolan get into words and led to the match. And thankfully, it was nice to see Gigi get a win. Still a big fan of hers. Hopefully, that this is a sign that they're definitely got plans for her. It's like I was worried. I was like, oh my God, is she going to job again? So thankfully it didn't happen. And then the main event happened. Baron Corbin taking on Wes Lee due to what happened last week. Corbin got the win. Once again, outside distraction seemed to be a theme all over the place this week. Dirty Dom Mysterio showed up to continue the feud with Wes Lee. Distracted Wes enough to help Corbin hit Wes Lee with End of Days to win the match. He went to beat down on Wes Lee, started, but Ilya Dragunov came out to make the save. Corbin hit him with End of Days and left Ilya laying with the title in the ring. Ilya got his hands on a microphone, told Corbin that he had just made a fatal mistake with what he just did, and that they will now have a NXT title match at Deadline, which is exactly what Baron Corbin wanted. So that's how NXT ended. So sucks. Sucks that Roxanne lost to Lash Legend. I'm not a fan of Lash Legend, but obviously this feud with Kiana James is not over yet because she cost her the match. So I don't know where this leads. Kiana James was in the Iron Survivor match last year. She's probably going to be in one of the qualifying matches, and Roxanne's going to return the favor. I would like to see Roxanne in the Iron Survivor Challenge. I don't know what's going to happen now that she lost to Lash Legend, so we're going to see. Not too concerned. Obviously, it's like they want this feud between Kiana and her to keep going for a little bit longer, so that's why they did this. So it's a little disappointing, but it's like it is what it is. So
you wonder why I don't watch NXT because they just do this stuff to my girl. Okay, you want me to watch your show?
As soon as that happened, I was just like, "Oh man!"
You want me to watch your show? Don't do this to my girl, okay?
I knew you were not going to be happy, dude.
Not happy. Just when I thought I was going to watch it, no, still boycotting it till they do right from my girl. Okay, don't like that. Don't like that at all. That being said, pretty solid show. It seems like.
This was a weird episode.
I was surprised Chase U was the family.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It was weird that Chase U lost the titles back to the family so quickly. We'll see where this whole storyline with Chase U being under investigation. I think the scandal. I think it involves that Chase took money from the Tony D from the mafia. to keep the school running, and that's what this whole thing is.
Gotcha.
I'm just worried that this is going to be like the end of Chase U because I didn't think much of the Chase U gimmick, but it's really won me over the last year, especially when Duke Hudson. It looked like he was only pretending to be part of Chase U, but then he did a full face turn and bought into being part of Chase U, and they got really over with the fan base. It's like Chase U's really, it's like they're a really over face group, so it's like we'll see what happens. It's if this is the end, if Chase U is heading toward disintegration, I'll be kind of sad.
Yeah. But all good things must come to an end. But yeah, it just now seems like they're getting over, and now they're not. So it's just kind of like you can't pull the plug just when you thought they were over.
An interesting twist is you think it's like they're kind of doing. JC Jane is kind of playing the role that Duke Hudson originally played, where it's like he was obviously the obvious heel is kind of like being part of the group, and it's like and kind of like actually being is like actually I like being part of this group, but still being a heel. So it's like it's very to see what her role's gonna play because she's definitely helping Andre Chase out, whether it's for good reasons or for her own reasons, we'll find out. So makes things very interesting. What's going on?
A couple things. Brawling Brutes, they've been consistently on the show?
Yeah. They've been showing up a lot in NXT lately. Because because this feud with the new team OTM has been going on, so that's why they did the match this week. It's like Pete Dunne Butch especially has been on NXT a lot lately. So yeah, they've been biding their time between there and SmackDown lately. Which is good. It's keeping them busy until Sheamus returns from injury. He's unfortunately still out.
Right.
So.
Right. The Edge match. And then I don't think anyone – I think I saw something where Baron Corbin was saying that no one has kicked out of End of Days.
That is actually true.
So that's kind of crazy. I forget who it was, what big superstar it was. Maybe it was Kurt. Maybe it was somebody. And he was like, if you want to kick out, I forget who it was. It was like a big superstar, and Baron was still kind of around. And he basically went to him and was like, he goes, "Hey man, what do you want to do?" He goes, "The only thing I don't care what we do. The only thing I just don't want, I just want to make sure I protect."
Oh wait, no, only one person. Sorry, only one person has ever kicked out of the End of Days. Drew McIntyre, when they had their match at last year. Okay. Last year's WrestleMania.
Because I forget which big time superstar that he basically was like, I want to protect End of Days. When they were doing that. But yeah, I mean, still, that's crazy that of all Baron Corbin's career, that
it was one of the most protected. You don't see finishers protected too much, like outside of there's a few exceptions. Like Kenny Omega's One Wing Angel is still protected. No one has ever kicked out of the One Wing Angel. Yeah. So it's like, so that's why when it's like if they're not going to lose that way, they find a way to avoid it because once he hits the One Wing Angel on it, you're done.
Right. And the Tombstone, Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania was the first one to kick out, right? That's why Undertaker had that look. Or I thought some other people have kicked out, but I don't remember.
Not many. Only a couple of people have ever kicked out of the Tombstone Pile Driver.
Yeah.
It's like...
Still, I mean, it's one of the top 10 greatest matches of all time.
So, yeah, Baron Corbin's finisher outside... Drew McIntyre is the only person who's ever kicked out of it.
Okay.
So it's still... So it's
crazy.
It's still pretty lethal. The fact that only one person's ever kicked out of it still makes it
Baron Corbin. It's not like the Undertaker or Stone Cold.
It's pretty weird that you think Baron Corbin's finisher, all things would be protected that way, but hey, things happen.
Yeah, but definitely looking forward to all that Wesley.
Deadline's shaping up to be a pretty. I'm liking who outside of Lash Legend. I'm liking who are in the Iron Survivor matches so far.
And this is in December, right?
Yeah, December 9th. Saturday the 9th. So
not
3 more weeks.
Too far off. Yeah.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see what's going to be thrown in the match. They also tease some other things like shout out to Braun Breaker. He and D-Jack got into it in the back, and he told D-Jack, "You better watch it, or else he'll face retribution." I was like, it's like nice little dig there.
Nice little dig there. Yeah. And then
D-Jack and Trick are already in. I'm not sure what else they're going to throw in there. Maybe Braun Breaker, but I don't. It's like unless that thing with him and Von Wagner is over.
Let's say they're still doing stuff with Von Wagner and him, right?
I don't know if it's officially over, but it's like, like they had a backstage segment where him and Stone were bonding, so it's like they made that feud may be over with.
Okay.
So we'll see. It'd be weird to see who else is going to be put in the matches. Still hoping maybe Roxanne gets put back in the match. Who knows? We'll see.
Well, if you want me to watch it, you better put her back in.
Believe me, I'll let you know. It's like if she finds a way to get into the Iron Survivor match, it's like Sean HBK, we love you. Make Josh happy.
Come on, man. I just did when she won the title, I started to watch her, and like Booker T was hyping her up, and I was like, all right. And then I watched her. Like I said, she reminds me of AJ Lee, and so AJ Lee was just really good in the ring.
It's still great. It's obviously that she's like one of their top.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm BSing.
I'm not worried. It's like it doesn't mean that that she's going down the card. It's
no.
It's part of the feud. It's Kiana James is like she lost the match at the Halloween Havoc tour. She's not happy, so that was her payback. Because it makes sense for Kiana James' character. She's a petty bitch.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, I was just saying that, but still, Roxanne, put her on the show. Okay, put her on the show.
I look forward to seeing what retribution, wink, wink, Roxanne's going to get on her coming soon.
And I've got kind of moving on from there real quick. Do you have the card pulled up for Full Gear? I got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
So so NXT was interesting show. Didn't like Chase U and Roxanne losing weren't exactly things I wanted to see, but I give HBK slack because NXT has really improved in the last year. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt to see where the storylines go. So looking forward to the deadline pay-per-view. Good build so far. All right, so let's do we'll run down the Full Gear card on Saturday and try to make some predictions. So we know on the pre-show, the 0 hour, MGF for now is defending once again the ROH tag team titles in a handicap match against the Guns of Bullet Club. He was able to escape against the Righteous at the last pay-per-view, but Bullet Club has more numbers. So I don't think they're gonna. I think they want to do is like they want to have MGF hold on to the titles until Adam Cole returns from injury, because it would suck. It would suck if because he's one half of the team. So that's why I think he's going to finally accept Samoa Joe's offer. Samoa Joe is going to team with him for this match and help him hold on to the tag titles for a little bit longer. That's my prediction for that match.
It could really go either way with Samoa Joe just screwing him over and stuff like that. But with his match later on and all that stuff, I just don't think they're going to put that much story to it.
Because him being the Righteous was a bit much by himself. It's like, and they really hyping up that it's like, Bullet Club has more. There's more. They got the numbers game over him big time. So it's like, and it's like he's gotten screwed by them multiple times so far. So that's what I think is going to happen. So.
The way I think it's going to go is, the way you could book it this way is he comes out, the match is going, he's getting beat down, everything's going well, and then all of a sudden he finally fends off both of the Guns. He's sitting there laying in the ring, and then Samoa Joe comes down and just puts his hand out. And
I think that's probably what will happen. It's like just when it looks like the Guns are going to win, that's when Samoa Joe will come out and he will extend the tag. It will extend the hand of friendship, and MGF will accept it.
Yeah, so that's where I see that. All right, next one.
All right, next up we have Sting, Darby Allin, and the Radar Superstar Adam Copeland taking on Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne in a 6-man tag.
Either Nick Wayne is going to take the pin, or Christian is still going to get over.
Yeah, I don't think this feud is finished just yet. It's just been started cooking. So I'm thinking Team Christian's going to win this match in some way.
Yeah, I think so too. Because Christian, you just can't put a L on. Like I said, other than Nick Wayne,
he's not going to take a pinfall. Not yet. Not until he loses the TNT title.
Yeah. So that's one of my prediction there.
Another grudge match. That was we got Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho taking on the Young Bucks with stakes on the line. If Jericho and Omega lose, they have to stop tag teaming together. But if Jericho and Omega win, they get the tag team title shot that the Bucks earned by winning that Battle Royal a while ago.
Kenny and Jericho.
Kenny and Jericho are winning this.
Yeah. Because if the fact that they just now like, oh, by the way, they've had a title shot for 7 months.
And also, the titles are currently on the heel team of Ricky Starks and Big Bill, which may change, but it may end up on another heel team. So, it's like, it could be House of Black, who knows? Or they keep it, but it's like heel versus heel tag team match. Nah. So it makes if a heel team is still going to be, if the title's going to still be on a heel team coming out of the pay per view, it would make sense that Jericho and Omega would be the challengers. It is as a one-off thing. I don't see them winning the titles, but it'll make a hell of a match depending on who they get paired up with, which who knows. So yeah, I think the Bucks are gonna get what's coming to them for acting like dicks lately. And then before we get to all the title matches, the last non-title grudge match going on is the Swerve Strickland Hangman Page feud. They're gonna do a Texas Death Match.
Swerve.
I think Swerve's going to win this, especially after Heyman just ripped him a new ass, and he didn't even got a word in rebuttal in edgewise. I think he's going to win it again.
Plus, he's got the numbers.
So. Yep. I think it'll be good for him. It's like I think he needs it. It's like Hangman can afford to take it. He's still over cowboy shit. They still chant cowboy shit. The fans still like Heyman. He's not going to be hurt. Swerve needs to be elevated.
It's Swerve's time, like I said before.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we got lots of title matches. All the titles are on the most of the titles are on except for TNT. So we have the international title on the line. Orange Cassidy defending against Jon Moxley as a continuation of their long-going feud here.
I'm kind of over this, but Moxley, I guess.
I guess Moxley is going to probably win the title back unless they pull a surprise and have Orange win this time. I'll be happy when this feud is. I think this feud has gone a little bit too long. I'll be glad when it's over. It's not, and I like both guys, but it's just like I'm just kind of like it doesn't invest me anymore because it feels like Moxley's reasons right now are like coming off as petty and childish, almost like Young Bucks kind of style.
Yeah, and it's like counterproductive to what the rest of his faction's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
We have a triple threat for the TBS championship. Chris Statlander defending against both Julia Hart and Sky Blue. They've been building those up for a while. Things going. Julia Hart fought Chris Statlander at the last pay-per-view and lost. They had a heck of a match, I thought. But now you throw Sky in the Blue mix. Julia Hart's definitely gotten over, and they've been pushing Sky Blue lately too. Statlander's had a pretty good, decent run with the title, but not like a spectacular run just because of she hasn't had like a red hot feud while she's been champion. So I would be okay if they decide to pull the trigger on either Julia Hart or Sky Blue. I don't see Sky Blue winning it. I could see Julia taking the title because they've been building her up for quite a while, and it's like they had a really competitive match in the last pay-per-view on one. So I'll lean toward Julia Hart for the upset.
Yeah, I'm thinking Sky, because Sky Blue did the miss to Julia, so she's going to go to do it to her again. She ducks, gets into Statlander's face. Julia does something, and then
that could be a way. That could be.
I've seen it before. That's why I was kind of like anticlimactic about it, but I can see that booking. I was going to say that Sky Blue was going to officially just let Julia Hart, turn on, just align herself with Julia Hart, but they kind of reneged that.
Yeah, when she misted Julia in as payback. So she's kind of like, she's still a face, but with an edge, which I'm okay with. It gives her some character development. So she's not, it's like, instead of being just a bland baby face. Yeah. So then up next, AEW Women's title match. Hikaru Shida defending against Timeless Toni Storm.
Timeless going to win.
Timeless, baby. Give it to my girl Timeless, please.
Yes.
This is nothing against Shida. But it's like I felt like she it's like Timeless Toni is so over right now that it's like you got to pull the trigger on her being a champion again eventually. It's like she's she's knocked it out of the park with this new character persona. Something she's never done before. She's absolutely killing it. It's like everyone's raving about it, both the fans in the arena and the internet community is loving what she's doing with this gimmick. So, no, it's as she used to say, it's Tony time. I think it's Tony time again, but this time it'll be timeless.
Yep. So I agree. I think it's gonna be timeless.
Probably it'll probably be shenanigans because they kind of like because of the new girl being the groupie and saying that she'll do anything to help her.
Yeah,
I could see maybe helping Timeless Tony cheat to win to get the title. So It's not like a completely clean loss for Sheeta.
No,
I can see that happening. Then we have a 4-way match for the tag team titles. Ricky Starks and Big Bill have to defend against LFI, FTR, and the House of Black, which will be Malachi and Brody.
I don't know why, but I want the House of Black to win. That's just kind of my 2 cents. I mean, they just came off winning the trios, though. You really can't give it to FTR. So Brody and Ricky, Big Bill and Ricky might.
I think Big Bill and Ricky might hold on to the titles here. It'd be kind of, it's like it'd be a really short reign, which would kind of be unfortunate. And I'd like it's nice that Ricky has at least some gold around his waist finally. And this partnership with Big Bill and the heel turn have worked really well for him. So, yeah, I love FTR to death. We both do, but they don't need the tag titles right now, especially because they got this feud with the House of Black that's been building up and that has not had a proper blow off. So, I think FTR and the House of Black are kind of like neutralize each other, and to continue their feud. So I think Ricky and Big Bill are gonna stay the champs.
Yeah, just kind of how I'll see things breaking down. They'll retain and then hype up the Jericho and Kenny match.
Yeah, because them versus Kenny and Jericho, that'd be a hell of a match.
Yeah.
And then the main event, it's been building up for quite some time. MGF defending the AEW title against Jay White, the Switchblade of Bullet Club Gold. MGF has been outfoxed and outnumbered in this feud for the majority of it. The only time that he finally got the upper hand was with the help of the Acclaimed, and then the Devil Mask and his Mystery Men beat them up in response. So I think he's not losing the title just yet. Especially on the Go Home program where you have him like Fox pin like that. That's a clear sign that Jay White's not winning this. I wouldn't in the past. I wouldn't have minded if Jay White won the title at this point, but MGF is going to come out on top because he's still got a lot of people gunning for the title.
Yeah,
Samoa Joe wants a piece of him. Wardlow wants a piece of him. So he's got other challengers lined up once he's done with Jay White.
Yeah.
So
I would like to see Jay White obviously with it, but the way they're building other contenders and all they want is Max, so that's the reason they're going to keep the title on him because they've already built up these other 2 feuds that he might have for the title. So why are you going to put it on Jay and then still have 2 other people who don't like him gunning for him? Like that just doesn't make sense.
Exactly. It's like with Joe doesn't hate him. He's more like I want that rematch and I'm willing to help you out in order to get that rematch in return. It's like and if Samoa Joe offered to be my friend, I'd say fuck yeah, dude.
Right.
You don't want Samoa Joe to be your enemy.
No, you don't. All right. Well,
and plus the Wardlow thing that's been a long time coming.
Yeah, because the last match was a squash. But I mean,
he destroyed MJF when they had that blow off match.
It made sense at the time, and I mean, they can definitely hype that up. But MJF is on another, and he'll be, I'm on another level. Type of
and the Wardlow thing was with him saying that he cannot run his past because it's like he treated Wardlow like shit, and so Wardlow is very justified that in his anger toward MJF wanting to take the title from him. It's like he has justifiable reasons for being for acting the way he is, which is always nice to see. Yeah. Like with Drew McIntyre, Drew turning heel makes complete sense with what's been going on with him for last year.
Yep. That makes total sense.
So I think so. Yeah, I think he's going to retain, and then I think what's going to happen is that the Devil Mask impersonator and his goon squad are going to attack MJF after the match, and we're going to get a reveal on who it is.
Yes, we're going to get a reveal who they is.
Also, the goon squad are also wrestlers, so it's going to be like kind of like a new stable line. It's from what I've heard.
Yeah.
So it's like they're not just like some random thugs that he's hired. It's like there's actual like guys on the roster that are under those masks that are going to be revealed as being behind this. Man. So the question is who? I still think my guess is still Jack Perry, but I could be wrong. But it would make sense because of the Pillars thing, and they've had history. Plus, it would be, they could tie it into like he was upset about getting suspended after the whole shit show between him and CM Punk happened at Wembley, which led to CM Punk getting fired and him being suspended off TV this whole time, which was entirely justified because it's like the way CM Punk acted was not correct, but neither he was no angel either. So it's like I'm just surprised that Tony didn't fire him either. But it's like I think he got off lucky that he only got suspended indefinitely because that shouldn't have happened. But anyway, I think it's most likely him.
Yeah, I just hope that it's like Jack Perry and a bunch of ragtag people that no one cares about.
It depends on who he's got helping him. And it's like if it's like Strong in the Kingdom, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because Roddy has been Adam, right. It's MJF behind the mask. It's like he's been saying it. It's like he's keeps pointing the finger. It's MJF, even though it's not him. It's like
right.
I don't know how the Adam thing got over, but it has. This is a testament to it. Props. This is some of the best character we've ever seen out of Roderick Strong.
Yeah, he's doing some pretty good stuff for sure.
It should it's a little too gimmicky, even though he's a heel, but it's still kind of funny how he's still pretending that his neck is 100%, even though we all know it's not. And he keeps getting wheeled around in the wheelchair by the Kingdom, so it's like. But I think that's eventually going to end soon because like he's going to get exposed. It's like, oh no, he's perfectly fine.
Right, exactly. All right, well, yeah, I think I'm kind of with you. I think it's Jack Perry and then the Kingdom. But I just hope it's not Jack Perry and a ragtag bunch of like,
Yeah, no, that wouldn't
like Retribution
would make sense
basically.
Because Roddy's been trying to find a way to get Cole away from MJF to be for a while now because he's not happy that they became best buds and he got got kicked to the curb. So it would, and with the way they've been acting and keep pointing the finger at MJF, it would totally make sense that they would be a part of the whole Devil Mask shenanigans.
But we shall see.
We shall see. We shall find out.
But Justin, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining and commenting. Please like, subscribe, comment down below of what you think is going to happen at Full Gear, what you think is going to happen at Survivor Series. Who is it going to be? Randy Orton? Who is going to be that other member for the female group?
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what you think. Obviously, join the Ruckus at patreon.com/RuckusTV and join on the rocket ship, as Bobby Burger says, to the moon. Come join the ride, and we will see you next time.